Man, society has become so godless and so lonely. Man, like, I don't know. Like back then I used to have friends. Shit, I used to have a girlfriend. But then it all came down to an end, man, cuz I don't know. This world is just it's become so isolated, you know what I mean? And it's nobody's fault. You know what I mean? Like me, I made peace with all my enemies in the past that have wronged me. So like I've let it all go behind me, but it just seems like, man, like it's so lonely out there. Like in the physical world. I know I talk about a lot of eternal stuff, and I talk about being one with the Spirit on the inside, the Holy Spirit, but it gets lonely. It does. But it sucks. Because, like, this is what I was talking about with the great falling away, is that humanity is gonna fall behind in many things, including in the social realm, you know what I mean? So it kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I deal with a lot of loneliness like 100% of my life most of the time. And it sucks. But at the same time, it's expected. Because, like, I don't know. Me personally, I was never really good at the connection thing. And I'm talking about, like, with women. Especially women today. I don't know, man. I never really had any type of, like, progress in that arena. Like, as far as, like, connection with humans. But I've connected with God a lot better than I ever have as far as any other human, besides family. And I feel like family, connecting with them, it's like the same lines of connecting with God, but it's just like, man, like, I don't know. It's always been strange. It's always been strange, like, human existence and human compatibility, and I don't know, man. I've always had a tough time with that kind of thing. Because, like, with me, like, I don't know. Just, the expectations of it all, the uncertainty of it all. It's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? And on top of that, like, all the outside influence of others, you know what I mean? It can kill you in the end. It can literally kill you. I mean, me, I've gotten involved with so many wrong people to the point where I almost wanted to unalive myself, because it gets to that point when you have so much evil in your life, you know, so much uncertainty in your life with the wrong people that surround you, and that's like what kind of happened to me. You know what I mean? It was kind of like the opposite of surrounding yourself with the Christ and with the Holy Spirit. I mean, I know I sound like some crazy loner, but it's the truth. It is the truth, man. Like, the people that you meet, they can kill you in the end, and it can get bad. I've been in so many bad relationships with people, I can't even count. You know what I mean? I've been in so much shitty relationships with people, and that's why I don't really try today, because I'd rather try to the Lord. I'd rather have a developed relationship with Him, if anything, because I don't know how to make a fruitful relationship, really. I don't know. Especially within the confines of today, you know what I mean? Like, most of the online life has taken over society, and it's like, when you date one woman, you're not really dating her. She's actually dating multiple men. I don't know. It's just kind of the way I see it. I can't really see it any other way. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I think that's like what's kind of got me like messed up, is the lack of human connection and the lack of human interaction. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I've kind of gotten over it. But I wanted to make this video to show you guys like my journey with like people. And like, I don't know, I was always that kind of guy in life that even at work, I would show up to work, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was just a natural loner in a way. Like, I don't know, I feel better by myself, and I just never really had that. I never really had like an extrovert kind of mentality, really. You know what I mean? And like, especially with women, like, I've always been so closed off in my relationships. You know, half of them I'd never really been able to open up because there's just been always so much expectation, especially as a man. You know what I mean? A lot of men, they deal with a lot of expectations in this life, and they deal with a lot of pressure. And I don't think women really understand that entirely, even though they got the world on their shoulders too. But for the most part, like when it comes to men, they get screwed up in that regard, you know, and then they're expected to connect like they're these open beings. You know what I mean? Men are very closed off beings. Most men. Me anyway. I consider myself very closed off and very just like, sorry, I'm brushing my beard, but yeah, I consider myself very closed off and very just, I don't know, kept to myself, especially nowadays, you know what I mean? You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out and be careful on who you meet in this lifetime. You know what I mean? But it's like, it comes off as this air pressure, this tight air pressure in your chest, and it just becomes too much. Like even today, like with the women online and stuff, like you'll talk to a girl and she's probably talking to multiple men. She doesn't know what she wants. You know what I mean? She's indoctrinated. So it's like there's not really much you can really do there, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's nobody's fault, you know what I mean? It's just the confines of society. It's gotten everybody trapped in these air pockets full of deception and air pockets full of just raw indoctrination, and they're stuck. I mean, maybe I could be indoctrinated too, of course, and like maybe I'm indoctrinated by the confines of my loneliness, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe that's the result of where I'm at today. But it's just like, I've done it because it's pretty much been a natural reaction to the outside world that's around me, you know what I mean? And it's like, you can sit there and try and be better in this lifetime, but like I said, we're very limited. We're limited beings. We have limited time on this planet. And honestly, it's not, we're in the end times, you know what I mean? So nothing really matters anymore as far as the social realm really goes, but I don't know. Like people, dealing with people, it's always been different. It's always been different. You know what I mean? And just like the societal expectations can weigh down on you too after a while, you know what I mean? And I think that's why when a lot of people are around me, I seem like this angry person. Like I just have a lot of anger built up in me. And it's not generally anyone's fault. It's just the way that, I don't know, I perceive this world. I'm just really angry. I'm really like an angry person. And I'm just always angry at just the shit that I see in this world. It's just disgusting. You know what I mean? It's just genuinely disgusting. And like I can't conform to it. I could never conform to it. And I think that's why I was always the odd one out. Because I just can't, man. I can't. I wasn't, number one, I wasn't supposed to be here. So it's like, I mean, none of us are supposed to be here. But it's just like with me, I really feel it. I really feel those effects within those words. Like, I don't know. That's why I was never really able to conform. It's another reason as to why, and it's another reason why I can never really conform. It's always been strange. I don't know. But yeah, like society's just changed, man. Like even if it wasn't the end times, like say like if it was other times, like today it's so strange. Like even online, just connecting with somebody, it's like I don't know. It's a different realm. You know what I mean? I don't know. But tell me what you guys think in the comments. Like, what are your experiences like? Like, can you relate? I don't know. And that's pretty much why I made this YouTube channel, you know what I mean? Because I just wanted to share my experiences, like, throughout life. And, like, you know, basic advice that I can give anybody. If you don't really connect to the world the way that you want to, it's not your fault. You know what I mean? It's really not your fault. People have so much expectations. They have a lot of pressure on them. They bring that on you. Can make you uncomfortable. So it's like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of social anxiety that comes along with that too. And I think that's why I ultimately just can't connect to any beings on this planet like that. Because with me, I don't know. I'm more excluded, and I'm just spiritually exiled, as it were. You know what I mean? Half the time when I'm around people, they look at me and it's like they're looking at a robot. Like I'm so detached from everything. Everything. I mean, the only thing I'm not detached from is the Lord at this point. It's the only thing that's like waking me up spiritually. Because like this world just has me socially, spiritually dead. And it's kind of sad. But it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like that's half of everybody in this planet right now. Literally nobody is connecting whatsoever. There's no connection whatsoever. Whenever I talk to somebody, it's like a complete miss to me. And that's not a personal thing. It's just the way societal norms have shifted. You know what I mean? And you can see it. You really can see it. And it's unbelievable. But at the same time, it's happening. And that's why I was saying, like, it kind of connects to the great falling away. Because of the way society shifted. It's made this falling away of sorts that it makes you wonder if it could ever bounce back. But we all know that's not going to happen anytime soon. You know what I mean? So it can become discouraging. You know what I mean? It could become isolating. And it could become defeating, and it could become many things, but you just can't let it get to you at the end of the day. And that's why me, like, whenever I get rejected by a woman, or whenever I get rejected by, I don't know, anything, I just turn the other cheek nowadays, you know what I mean? Because it's honestly expected. It's expected. You know what I mean? I never really had that chance of connection, really. And hopefully I can get that in heaven. That'd be nice. Because in heaven, there's no pain, there's nothing. You know what I mean? There's none of that. And I think that's why I sort of brought that ideology of heaven into fruition in my mind and in my beliefs, because it has to be real. Like I said, heaven, to me, is a definitive frequency apart from the physical realm of what we deal with here. So that's why we're able to bring good things in, and that's why light is good. You know what I mean? That's why there's beauty in this world. It comes from heaven. It derives from heaven. It derives from that frequency, and it makes the shift. But I feel like as time went on, we kind of closed and hindered that frequency. You know what I mean? And it can happen. It can really happen. Depending on how society shifts and how the world goes, and you know what I mean? Just how indoctrination ensues along the masses. But yeah, it can happen. You know what I mean? That's why there's mass loneliness. There's, birth rates are down, marriage rates are down. Nobody's developing life anymore, if you realize, you know what I mean? And it kind of makes sense. Don't get discouraged when you see the lonely person that's around, you know what I mean? At the same time, they've exceeded all their options when it comes to people. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, I get on social media nowadays, and it seems like nobody's relatable. Everybody's angry at each other. Everybody's really disrespectful, and just nobody gives each other the benefit of the doubt anymore, And I couldn't either, because, man, my grace has ran so thin. And like I said, I used to be a people pleaser, so it's like I used to get abused a lot. So I withdrew a lot of things from myself, from this physical realm, and I had to kill and get rid of a lot internally. You know what I mean? I had to crucify a lot of myself so I could become more into the Holy Spirit that I could channel it into. You know what I mean? So I started to follow closely on the commandments. I started to back, more of that rigid structure that's the Holy Spirit. Because me, I didn't stand up for myself. But now I do. You know what I mean? Now I rule with an iron fist. Through the Christ, though, not for selfish purpose. And that has benefited me within society. It's helped me draw my boundaries. It's helped me practice self-respect. It's helped me practice a lot. Dignity. You know what I mean? There's many things that you can derive from the Holy Spirit. It operates on a certain frequency that you can tap into, and that you have the free will to do so, and the grace to do so. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's stuff like that that really hinders the loneliness for me. You know what I mean? Because back then I used to never really deal with loneliness in a positive light. You know? Because I wasn't tapping into that Holy Spirit for me personally. But I don't know, guys. Like, it's a dark world out there, man. Like, you got a lot of evil people out there. And you really got to decide where you want to be as far as, society goes and all that. And it's just, I don't know, it's too much noise for me, personally. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my experience now with today's day and age. I may make more videos like this down the line. Because, like, loneliness is, like, very three-dimensional. You know what I mean? It's not like this two-dimensional plane, like, oh, there's nobody around, whatever. It's three-dimensional levels to it. And it can ultimately destroy somebody, depending on how they, take care of themselves and how they deal with it, and, and vice versa. So you really got to put your heart on guard when it comes to that, and you really got to try not to harden your heart. But at the same time, you also have to expect what's to be expected. And don't give yourself any false narratives or false doctrines, because that leads to false hope. You know what I mean? And I've done that to myself a lot when I try to connect to a woman or anybody, and that wasn't family. It's always been like that. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. You know what I mean? It's just the way society moves. It's like a current. Some move with it, some move against it. Some move away from it. Or closer to it. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Do you think I'm just some crazy loner, or do you think that, yeah, society has become this very isolated environment? You know what I mean? And it's up to us on how we deal with that in a proactive way. You know what I mean? But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.